But we have to stop taking power out of each other. I think it was Jonte who walked in here and changed my life, because after being with Jonte for 3 days straight and talking to him and being here all day, my whole thought process is different.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of rude, actually.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn up. She was saying that when you want something, if you see it, it has the possibility to become true. But when you believe it, it has already happened.
Okay.
Issa Rae said the reason why people have a problem with coming up or getting to where they want to do is because their faith is in the people who already made it instead of the people who are trying to make it with them.
Okay. See, passion is what's going to keep you going when you're not making no money. That's the only thing that's going to keep you going when you ain't making no money.
I feel like I should have worn your jacket though.
You said what? She's so crazy.
Oh, is it recording?
The red light is actually on. You're so crazy.
You gotta tell me, is it a booty or something?
Yeah, that's kind of rude, actually.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn up.
Okay. Alright, what's going on, you guys? Today we decided to have a little mastermind.
Make sure it's recording.
No, I actually make sure it's recording right
okay,
now. It's definitely recording right now, so we can make another quick introduction. I'm Jonte, if new to the channel. I'm going to tell you the same thing. Smash that like button, turn the post notifications on, and subscribe to the channel.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Jada Amina. I'm here with Jonte Hall. We actually are at work, but we just got into a deep conversation. But listen, we got good content coming, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you stay tuned for our upcoming videos.
Definitely. So what were we touching on exactly? Let's go back into it.
Let's go.
We're talking about just being a high value person.
Manifestation.
Okay, yeah. So actually touch into details about that exactly.
Okay, so when I was in here, I'm gonna turn this off.
Yeah, that's kind of rude, actually.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn it up. He's silly. Okay, so when I was in college, I'm 23 years old, and I went to college from 2013 to 2018. When I was in college, I had hit a point where I was ending a relationship, and I had hit rock bottom. I mean, like, rock bottom. I've always lived by myself since I was 17 years old. I've always had my own place, and then I had got into this relationship with this older guy, and after we broke up, he basically took everything from me. And so what happened was I hit rock bottom. I mean, eviction notices. I mean, no money in the bank. I mean, no gas to drive, no way to get to school, no food to eat. I hit rock bottom. And I kept telling myself, like, you know what, this is a test. And so what happened was I sat down and I wrote down everything that I was grateful for, because I said, you know what, this is only temporary. Everything that I'm going through is only temporary. So I wrote down everything that I had that I was grateful for. Even though I felt like I had nothing, I still had breath, I still had arms, I still had limbs, you know, I still had sight. And next thing you know, I wrote down everything that I wanted to see for myself. And day by day, what kept me going was gratitude. So here's the thing about manifestation. You cannot manifest by saying, I want this. You have to manifest in a state of gratitude. And when you're grateful. So what I did was, even though I had nothing, I started thanking the universe. I said, thank you, universe, for me having food on the table. Next thing you know, someone will call me and say, hey, let's go eat. And then I will go with them, and then they will pay. And then I would say, thank you, universe, for me being able to afford my home. Next thing you know, I got a job, and I had an advance, and I paid my rent. I paid the back pay of whatever he took from the company, and it provided me a home. So everything that I was getting, I was thanking the universe, because I don't want to say God, because not everyone is religious, but I was thanking the universe for it before I even received it. So that's one thing about manifestation. You have to live in the spirit of gratitude. You have to thank the universe for whatever it is that you want before you even get it. The next thing about manifestation is you have to find your genuine happiness. I was telling Jonte, like, the best way to manifest is when you're in a state of gratitude or when you're in a state of happiness, pure happiness. Not when I get this, I'll be happy. You have to be happy before you get it. You have to be grateful for it before you get it. I don't know if you guys seen this video by Left Eye. She was a part of TLC. She was the one who passed away. And what she died in not in a plane crash?
Left Eye, I believe it was a car crash.
Car crash, there you
You
go.
start your happiness, money maintains it.
There you go. You start your happiness, money maintains it. But in this video, Left Eye, she was saying that when you want something, if you see it, it has the possibility to become true. But when you believe it, it has already happened. So when you manifest and you thank the universe for it, that's you already thanking the universe as if you already have it. And this is coming from us. I'm 23, he's 25. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm thanking the universe for every experience that I'm going through and the experiences that I will go through, because I know I will be where I want to be at the right time. Here's another thing about manifestation.
Before you go to the next one, I want to just touch on this too. Is not only you start your happiness, but money maintains it, but you also got to think to yourself that the struggle is very important. It's actually critical because it builds character, right? I always say the struggle is important, but a prolonged struggle is unnecessary. What I mean by a prolonged struggle is unnecessary, I'm talking about sometimes there has to be equilibrium. You know, like in a movie, you have the climax and then you have the solution. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At some point, you gotta get over that situation. You get what I'm saying? You gotta get over the struggle. You gotta come up. At some point, you gotta come up. You get what I mean? And if you stay down, it's like stay down till you come up. But you can't stay down forever.
And I think that's really funny that you said that, because that phrase "stay down till you come up," I made a post about this on Instagram. It's false. You do not have to stay down till you come up. Here's a myth about coming up. You don't have to. If you don't have to struggle, you don't have to struggle. If you can learn something from somebody to skip a struggle, then learn it and skip that struggle. Everyone believes that you have to.
I need to write that down. I ain't gonna even front.
What?
I just came up with one in my head. Stay up till you up.
Stay up until you up. For real.
Because I don't want to forget that one. That's
Stay
going to be
down.
a post for sure.
And then you have to realize the words that we speak have a lot to do with the experiences that we go through. Going through a journey of getting to where you want to get, it does not always have to be negative. It does not always have to be struggle. You can be happy and get to where you want to get in a happy experience. You don't have to go through all these bad things to get to it. A lot of people feel as if you have to go through a struggle. You do not. You do not.
True.
Some things are inevitable. And that's 100%. You have to agree. Some things are inevitable. Some things you cannot control. But things you can control, you should control them. We have to understand we have to learn how to take charge of our life, take charge of our experiences. And by that, it's our mental. You have to learn how to control the way you think. Because the way you think, a lot of people, I know it's cliche, and a lot of people are like, blah, 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 blah. We know this. The way you think becomes reality. It's really true. I was telling Jonte this story, I'm going to tell y'all. I was leaving work. I said, damn, I was on water. I was dehydrated for some reason. I'm driving down the street, and I'm about to go to 7-Eleven. And I said, damn, just some water would be great. I'm at the light, and a man comes walking. He's like, you want water? It's $1. I was like, oh, wow. I literally said I wanted something, and it came to me.
You said it.
And even though that's such a minuscule example of manifestation, it shows how something so small came to me. And it shows you it's the same way you thought about that, it's the same way something so large can come to you. Something so large. My mama kept saying, because I kept saying like, dang, I just want a different experience with my career. She says, don't give up, because it takes one person to walk in that shop, change your life. I think that one person was Jonte.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, wow, that's great.
Because I feel like,
a huge statement.
I feel like I was waiting for somebody like popular or wealthy to come and rent a car. We expect such low value things, like not to say a celebrity is low value, but we think these people who already have made it, have the power to change your life. That is true. Don't get me wrong. If Jay-Z walked in this building and said, I want y'all two to be on this, it would change our life. But we have to stop taking power out of each other. I think it was Jonte who walked in here and changed my life, because after being with Jonte for 3 days straight and talking to him and being here all day, my whole thought process is different. The way I think, now I'm saying every experience that I go through from this point on, I have to treat that experience as if it was my last experience, or as if this is the experience that's gonna take me to where I need to be. And it was him, because if you guys are true followers and you guys can hit that subscribe button to him, you would know that he documents everything that he does. He documents every thought. You know what I'm saying? This man keeps a journal with him and he writes in it every day. I didn't mean it.
No, I've told him that I write a journal too. That's fine. That's fine. Every single day, yeah. February 4th, 2016, that's when I started, till present.
Yeah, literally. I'm a witness. But no, we have to stop taking that power and thinking that it's going to be a celebrity or a rich person who's going to change our life. No, we have the power to change our life. You guys know who Issa Rae is? Issa Rae said the reason why people have a problem with coming up or getting to where they want to do is because their faith is in the people who already made it instead of the people who are trying to make it with them. The power is in us. The power, it's nothing like somebody who's on the come up with you.
Yeah, you said it.
It's nothing like that.
Sure, true.
The best way to get to where you're going is to team up with somebody who's on the come up with you, not somebody who already made it.
Right.
That's what we got to understand. We got to start putting our power into each other and into ourselves.
One of my buddies told me, and I don't mean to cut you off, but one of my buddies told me that there's an acronym. It's called CVP, and it stands for clarity, vision, and passion. So whatever you do, you gotta be clear. That's where the clarity starts from. You get what I'm saying? So if I don't understand something, I'm gonna say I don't understand it. If I want to be clear on something, because there's a lot of miscommunication, lack of clarity going on, and you gotta clarify these things, right? Because that's how things happen, and people are like, oh well, I had expectations for this or whatever the case was, because we were never clear. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna say we were never clear because it's up to each individual to set the expectation of clarity. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So clarity, you have to be clear, right?
Exactly.
And then on another note, the second part of that is vision. You got to have a vision. Okay, this is where I'm going. This is like my roadmap. This is my map. This is where I'm going. And then you got to be passionate about that, because the only way you're going to actually make something happen is if you got passion. See, passion is what's going to keep you going when you're not making no money. That's the only thing that's going to keep you going when you ain't making no money.
And you know, once you get the money, Jay-Z said it, once you get it, what's next? She called me twice.
Yeah.
That just made me change my whole.
You ready? I had to throw my shades on. What hurricane?
We get hurricanes.
Okay, what does that mean? It's gonna be bad weather or something?
You know what hurricane is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
We're getting one.
Okay.
In Miami.
When?
Month of June.
Okay. That's fine.
We need to find a place for the cars too, so they don't get water down.
The car's gonna be inside. What are you talking about?
It's a hurricane. The water gonna seep through. It's gonna at least come to right here.
Wait, you serious?
When you drive past South Beach, you don't see those signs that say "Get ready, it's hurricane season."
Oh, okay, that's
Why you
crazy.
think I'm going home?
Yeah, well, I'll be back in LA soon, too.
It's hurricane season, dude.
It's crazy.
You know that?
Okay. Well, nevertheless,
Always some more.
you ready to get back to the video?
Yes. We
Alright.
having a good talk.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I should have wore your jacket though.
You said what? She's so crazy.
Oh, is it recording?
The red light is actually on. You're so crazy.
You gotta tell me, is it a booty or something? It is light in here though. You want me to turn it?
Oh, there is a light in here. Yeah, turn the light on. Turn the light on so we can have that crispy look.
Nah, it does that.
I'm talking about this light over here. It's on the wall right there.
Where?
Right here. Look by the door.
Oh. You want this one?
I mean, actually, you know what? It ain't gonna make a difference. Okay, maybe that makes a little difference, but all right. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's just run it. How about that, huh? Let's run it. All right, come on. Let's get it in. All right, so where do we leave off at?
I need that. That shit look crazy.
What?
My bra.
What look crazy?
This.
It's so much value in this video right now. I don't think they ain't even hearing that. You know what I'm saying?
Who texting us?
Huh? You said who's texting?
Who texted us?
Nobody texts. This is Instagram.
I don't know. I'm just messing with you. I'm a nosy ass girlfriend. If I ever was a girlfriend, like, ooh, excuse me, that was gross. I did not know that was gonna come out. Don't
All right,
finish.
cool. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it. All right, cool. So where do we leave off at exactly? Oh, you were about to say something else. Just get back into the manifestation portion. Throw my glasses back on.
The power. I want you to talk about
What you want me to talk about?
the 20s thing.
Oh, okay, cool. So I said this in one of my older videos, and I was showing her on a vlog. I was on a vlog with one of my buddies in New Jersey, but we were in the city of Manhattan, New York, and we were talking about your 20s is your new 40s. And basically what I mean by that is your 20s is your new 40s. So there's so much resources out. You know, in today's time, there's so many resources like the internet, books, whatever the case is, to learn, to grow, that if you don't have shit figured out in your 20s, you're really 40 years old, because that's just saying that you're behind. So it's a lot of times people will tell you, oh, you're 20 years old, you're 22, you're 24, you're 25, you got time. You don't got time. And even if you do got time, you don't want to think like that. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's on a different time frame. It's always like, you can't compare. It's like you can't compare your goals to somebody else's goals, right? Because you may want to be a millionaire by 30, somebody else might want to be a millionaire by 50, right? So it is what it is, you know. But the thing is, what I always say is, you got to make sure you set your own self up for your own success, because your success is gonna look different than the person next to you or somebody else's success. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say your 20s is the new 40s. So you gotta have your shit figured out in your 20s. It's too many people out here getting rich early. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, and the reason why I say sometimes it's not good is because it's like they haven't went through the stages. You get what I'm saying? The stages of actually being able to value what they have and to understand what they going through. You get what I'm saying? But everything you gotta kind of learn, and it takes time, you know. But that's what I mean by your 20s is your 40s.
If you put it in that, I feel like you know, your 20s is the new 40s. I agree, because at first I was like, nah, I don't agree, because I was like, what do you mean? Because when you're 20, you still
like you can play around, you go college, you can party, you go, you know.
But you have to agree though, 20s are your selfish years. This decade, you're supposed to be selfish.
Well, that's funny that you say selfish, because I'm currently writing a book called Be Selfish.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually called Be Selfish, and I'm gonna just summarize it really quick, but. So people have a negative connotation that being selfish is a bad thing, but the whole purpose of being selfish, at least what I talk about in the book from my perspective, is being selfish is taking care of yourself so you can take care of others at a higher level, right? Because it's not about what you do, it's at what level you're doing whatever you're doing, right? So when I say you have to be selfish, sometimes, let's say for example, if you're like the breadwinner in the family or whatever the case is, whatever it happens to be, right? If you go out and you make sure, like let's say you're hunting, I'm gonna just use this as an analogy, right? You go out to eat, right? Or you go out and you're in a village, you gotta feed your village, right? So you go out to hunt for your prey, right? You go out and the first thing you do, once you find that prey, you start eating. You don't take it back to your village, you start eating. So person A, he goes out, he hunts, he starts eating, and then he finishes eating, then he goes out and hunt more, and then he brings back a lot more food. You get what I'm saying? And then the other person B, they go out and they go for their prey, and then when they find a prey, they take it directly back to their village instead of making sure they're good. You get what I'm saying? So by doing that, it allows it's like they're more so malnourished, so they can't perform at a higher level. You understand what I'm saying? So opposed to them bringing back as much as person A brought back, they bring back less because they're malnourished. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta take care of yourself. And I always say, personal development has, like even in one of my journals I journaled about the other day, personal development comes before everything in my life. my personal development becomes before everything. It comes before money. It comes before friends, family, everything.
And you know what?
Yeah.
One thing I want to touch on about manifestation and just everything is that the universe forces you to take care of yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, it will not give you what you need or what you're asking for.
Yeah, look at the camera right there. Sorry about that.
It will not give you what you need or what you're asking for. So that's very ironic that you said that you're writing a book, or you said you're reading a book.
No, I'm writing a book currently.
You're writing a book.
Writing the book currently.
Called
I'm writing
Selfish.
2 books, but one of the books that's going to be one of the first ones, hopefully.
I'm writing a book too. It's called Green Crack. It's talking about how marijuana is used for
I actually like that name. That's a great title.
Yeah.
Very catchy. You know, the best books are not the ones that... What I've learned about reading books is the best books are not always like, oh, it's just a good book. It has so much value in it. But usually the best books are the ones that are marketed the best, right? And that's a really good name, marketing-wise, Green Crack. Because it's like, what the fuck? Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind, like, green crack. Like, I thought about crack, you know?
Well, it's about how...
So it's such a catchy title, but it's almost offensive, but it's something good because it's something that's gonna stir up like controversy. Controversy is always good. It's like almost like clout chasing.
Well, it's a very it's gonna be a very like small book. It's not gonna be no 300-page book. It's gonna be very small.
When you say small, like how many pages? 100?
Yeah, like 100 pages.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
There we go.
It's just gonna show you. I'm gonna stay what I have to say. Stay facts. Back it up. Basically, I used to be on the debate team when I was in college. So I'm very straight to the point. But no, it talks about how marijuana strategically targets Black, African, however you want to say it, Black people in America to purposely place them in the prison industrial complex, and how marijuana was, when it first came out, classified as in the same category as crack and as ecstasy and all these other drugs, when the benefits of marijuana have always had health benefits. Those drugs have crack, ecstasy, all of those, they have no health benefits. Marijuana the ingredients has never changed. It has always been beneficial to the human body. And it talks about how they used that. They took away that information, and they didn't provide the public with that information. They only provided the public in association to marijuana with deaths and murders and all these violent crimes. So it just talks about how marijuana is
let's do this.
to target.
We got that. Let's get back on topic now.
Okay.
Manifestation.
Yes.
Right? I think that's gonna be the title of this.
Manifestation.
Manifestation Mastermind.
Yeah.
So let's try to stay on topic on that aspect. What else? What else you got? Or do you have any questions? Maybe, or anything, I don't know.
There's so much.
I know it's such a broad topic.
It is. It's so much.
There's got to be a lot of things to talk about. But I want, at least for the people I want the people to be able to take away some value, a lot of value, as much value as possible within a short period of time. So, you know, anything about manifestation, whether somebody maybe have questions, like, you know, what do you think?
How about you ask me a question?
Okay. Well, let me see. Manifestation. What is manifestation to you? And try to answer it with the most simplistic possible answer you could think of, like very straight to the point. And I got another question for you.
You have to answer the question too, and I.
Oh, you want me to answer? Okay, cool. I'll answer too. Go ahead.
Manifestation to me is the key. How do I put this? You said in the most simplistic form.
Yeah, like you can say whatever you want, but try to keep it simple. Nothing too crazy, nothing too much. You know what I mean?
The ingredient to unlocking your highest desires.
Okay. Manifestation. Manicures.
Manicures, manifestation.
Manifestation to me is just having faith in the process. Having faith in the process before You get what I'm saying? Like I said, staying up until you really up, or looking up until you up, you know, something like that. So having faith in the process, because sometimes people might not believe that things could happen for them, but at the same time, it's like you gotta have faith in the process, like that this is gonna work. Things don't just happen. Sometimes they do, but for the most part, you can control a lot of what happens to you and what happens for you. So therefore, you gotta remember, you gotta have faith in the process, and that's kind of like manifestation to me.
So,
anyhow,
I like that. My question to you is, what is the process?
Everybody's process is different. There's no blueprint to the process.
What do you mean by the process? That's a better question.
I'm gonna tell you right now. So the process to me is, it's the steps you have to take to get where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the process. Everybody's going in a different direction. Nobody's going the same place. Some people are in different industries. Some people are living a different life. Everybody's goal is different. So there is no one way to do process, and that's one thing that I disliked about school, is they try to teach you there's one way to do things a lot of the times, or there may be an alternative, but for the most part, there's this way to do it, and that's not how things always work. You get what I'm saying? There's multiple ways how to get things done, and they don't really talk about that. And what I'm saying is, you have to remember the process. The process is the steps that you have to take to get where you got to go. Where you going and where I'm going is two different places.
Mm-hmm.
How do two different people can sit in the same movie and take two different messages away from one movie? Y'all just sat in there. Drop it. I was hoping drop it. Sorry, somebody goes out the door. But nevertheless, that's what it is to me, the process.
To me, the process is, it's not even just about the steps, it's about the emotions. Mm-hmm. A lot of people forget that when you're on your rise, when you're on your come up, you go through a lot of emotions. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, what I don't like about the not necessarily the industry, but just this whole process, like you said, is people forget about emotions. Showing emotions is unprofessional, or it's not intellectual. It's, of course, you have to always, when you're in an intellectual environment, it's always smart to separate your emotions from, intellectual being, whatever. But you are entitled to feel something.
Yeah.
You are entitled to have a feeling about something. Mm-hmm. This whole world, this professional world, is so. The reason why I feel it's so fake is because they want you to take out feelings. Feelings are a part of this world. Feelings are a part of this world. If Jonte is my boss, and Jonte says something bad about me, and for me to pretend like it didn't hurt my feelings, is fake. Not everything is not supposed to be based off of your feelings. Of course, when you're supposed to separate your feelings from work, but having emotions about things is genuine. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Well, another thing I was going to say too is, you got to be straightforward. You got to let people know what's going on, because otherwise people would think you're sitting here and you're just bullshitting. Nobody got time to waste. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a lot of time wasters out there. There's a lot of big cappers. Cap. But basically what I'm saying is, people waste your time. So sorry about that, Mr. But you got to be as transparent as possible. That's basically the biggest thing that I could say is, you got to be transparent. You got to let people know what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go. And you can't waste nobody's time, and you can't waste your own. Sometimes, and like one of my buddies, Brian James, said, he said, if you don't identify the time wasters, you will look like one. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you don't identify the time wasters, like if you talking to somebody and you feel like they're a time waster, if you can stay in that environment, you're going to look like a time waster yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
my mom always
respect and value your time too.
And my mom always say, don't argue with a fool, because the third person don't know which one is which.
Yeah.
So if you
no
with a
problem.
time waster,
no problem. No problem. That's what I say.
No problem, for real. And that's really true. And the thing about it is, it's very imperative to be straightforward. Because when you're not straightforward, you're gonna be looked at as a time waster. Always be honest too. Cause you could be straightforward and say this, but you're not being 100% honest.
Yeah.
You're not being honest with how you genuinely feel. You have to be honest.
Well, sometimes what I learned too on another note is sometimes you gotta sugarcoat stuff with people, with certain people, because everybody can't handle the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody can't handle the truth, and that's just what it really comes down to. Sometimes you can't be as transparent as you want to be, even though you might be a transparent person. Sometimes you gotta you gotta ease people into certain things, because everybody can't handle the truth. They're not ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you tell somebody something, some people, based off of your prior experience with them, the prior knowledge of what type of person they are, you get what I'm saying? The experience and all that stuff, you're gonna know how you could deal with that person. You gotta deal with them accordingly, because everybody can't handle the truth. So sometimes you gotta sugarcoat stuff with people.
Here's the thing also. You got to take care of yourself first. And I know we talked about this, but I was just thinking about something. I said, wow. It's just a situation that I'm going through right now. But I was just thinking like, wow. Had I not taken care of myself first, I would have been asked out. Here's the thing. Taking care of yourself first shows the universe responsibility. And you're responsible for you first. Just like when you're on the airplane and they tell you, even if you got a kid, put the mask over if something happens to the plane, put the mask over yourself first. Don't put it over your kids first. Put it over yourself first. Not to say that, take care of yourself before your kids because you brought them in the world. No. I'm saying it's universally irresponsible. That's how we should say it. Universally irresponsible to not take care of yourself first. It's why
no, I'm laughing because like in my head right now, I was just thinking to myself like, almost fell asleep right now. I think I'm just tired, honestly.
You have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
And if you can't do something, don't do it.
Yeah.
You can't always be there, because you have to understand people put their responsibilities on you because they don't want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
You have to understand.
The art of delegation.
The art of delegation. But you have to know your worth as well.
You got any books you can recommend? I know you said you're an avid book reader.
Of course, you guys know the 4 Agreements. I highly recommend the 4 Agreements.
Okay. I haven't read it, but I definitely heard of it. Definitely heard of that for sure. 3 books. 2 more.
3 books. You never read the 4 Agreements?
I never read it, but I have people that tell me about it.
Well, I'll give you a quick rundown. 4 things. 4 things.
Okay, go ahead.
Always do your best. Have impeccable speech. Don't take things personal.
Okay.
I forgot the 4th one. And that's it. Always do your best. Don't take things personal. Have impeccable speech. Damn, I forgot the 4th one.
It's all good. Don't look it up. That's kind of crazy. 3.
I'm reading this book.
Total of 3.
I'm reading this book called "This Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey."
Okay.
It's a really good book, especially if you are a minority. And then... Cap.
Come
on, help me.
I can't help you. You gotta recommend. I can recommend 3 books.
Recommend 3 books.
Okay, cool. I'll name 3. I have a lot of... None of them are exactly my favorite, but I'm gonna put some out there. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I just feel like it's a really good book on communication and communicating with people and changing your perspective, your mindset on valuing your friendships and people that you deal with on a daily basis, or even if you deal with them on whatever terms, but just how to deal with people and how to, not necessarily ask for things and try to come from a perspective of contribution, like how to win friends. How could I help you? How can I assist you? Whatever the case is. So that's one. A lot of people know about this other book. The second book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Really good book.
I went to his thing.
Fundamental financial insight about, that topic in general, but also life in terms of how he grew up and how it may or may not apply in your life. The next book I would say is a book called Outliers. One of my favorites, actually.
I was just gonna say The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell.
That's a good book too.
Yeah.
Good book. So, yeah.
I like Outliers. I was gonna say The Tipping Point.
Really good book. Yeah.
By Malcolm Gladwell. It talks about how you need to take every experience seriously. How small or how large, you never know. Just like we said, every experience matters. Small, large. Small, large.
So appreciate y'all watching the video. I'm Jonte Hall.
Jada Amina.
And this is a vlog / mastermind about manifestation.
Yeah, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for sure. And make sure y'all just stay tuned in. And every time I see Jonte, we're gonna make a video.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Peace. Deuces. Is that good? Deuces. Alright.
He's so corny, y'all.
Huh?
Is that good? Deuces.
Is that good?
That's funny.
Alrighty.
That was good. That was like, yeah.
Okay. Manifestation. I was about to say manifestation. Manicures.
Manicures, manifestation.
Manifestation to me is just having faith in the process.